Hello, I would like to talk to you about a game I would like to create called Heavyhearted Arsonist, where you go around as a fire starter to different homes and start them on fire. But of course, when you start homes on fire, someone's bound to call the fire department. And when the fire department shows up, the guilt of starting these homes on fire weighs on your character, and so you exchange your fire starter out for a fire extinguisher instead. And you run around and you put the homes out. Let's find out why the character would want to do this. Here you play a fire starter in your game, and you run around to different houses and start them on fire. Depending on the platform that we create this game in, whether it's a desktop game or a console game, will depend on how you move around the map, whether it's keys or a D-pad, and whether it's an action button or a mouse click to start these fires. Here you can see that you started 3 fires and your score went up to 30. And the timer is starting to decrease over time because somebody called the fire department. But don't be the one to be starting a fire when the timer runs out because the fire department shows up and you're busted and you lose. So instead, let's go down to the fire truck and exchange it for a fire extinguisher instead. To increase playability of each level, we're going to create 6 random spawn points. One in the upper right hand corner, the middle right side, and the bottom right hand corner shown here, and the upper left hand corner, the middle left side, and the bottom left hand corner. This will of course increase playability per level, seeing that it's a random spawn point. This is what it looks like when a person goes up to a house that's on fire with their fire extinguisher and starts to put it out. A timer appears above their head showing you how long it takes to put out this fire. And this is what it looks like when a fire is put out. And your score will jump up significantly. But remember, you just started these 2 homes on fire first, so they're going to burn down to the ground faster. And of course this will be shown because the roof is now gone. Let's see what happens if a house fully burns down to the ground later. Here you saved your second home, and the fire starter that is got his fire extinguisher out is putting out the third house. And your score will jump up significantly depending on how much house is saved, structurally wise. And of course here you see a house burnt down to the ground before you can get to it, and your score dropped big time. Each stage is going to be labeled to be a certain amount of points to get to go on to the following stages. The theme for my game is going to be a little bit of action mixed in with some strategy. And the only other game that I can find that was relatively close to this one was called Jones on Fire, where you play a firefighter that runs down a line continuously, jumping over fire, collecting coins, and saving kittens. The different risks that I think in this game for Full Sail students would be, of course, calculating the different time to increase the decision-making skills that a player is going to create, how long it's going to take to put out a fire, vice just having a dominant strategy. And of course a little bit of animation, because creating a character running, putting out fires, how a fire looks, all that good stuff in animation, we barely have any training in, so I believe that that would be another great risk for us. And this concludes my presentation.